wish to create a perfect human being, selecting the best organs from different corpses. Nosferatu, the medieval vampire in the remote regions of Transylvania.
5 innocent people killed, not a sign of a human.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. In all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murder. Victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. A fool can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. A fool can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow.
Oh, God, I love those graphics. Oh, well, hello. How's it going? Let me pause this. It's the Wolfman. It's great one, classic. So, how's everybody doing this evening? Thank you for coming back and joining me for another episode of Answers to the Unknown. As you know, I'm your host, John. So tonight we're going to be talking about something that's very, very intriguing. Definitely to me. I've never experienced this yet, but I've heard a lot of tales of it, and to be honest, it freaks me the hell out. I'm talking about black-eyed children. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of them. A lot of people want to know what they are, where they come from, kind of why they're here and why they'd show up. So tonight we're going to do that. We're going to answer those questions, as well as doppelgangers, which is another one that, oh boy, talk about some creepy stuff, you know, evil twin type things. It's just, no thank you, not for it. So, without any further ado, folks, let's see what I got here. I'm going to dust off the book of answers, and we're going to dive in. So, I hope everybody enjoyed last week's episode. So, black-eyed children. A lot of people have heard about them, and a lot of tales, a lot of lore. They show up in the middle of the night, they're creepy, it's got these black eyes, and they're always kind of very evil. There's evil feeling, evil presence when they show up. So, a lot of people want to know, what is a black-eyed child? And that's a very good question. See, black-eyed children are an American legend, although stories of them from other countries have been known to pop up, I believe, out in like England and a few other places. They've had the story of black-eyed children. But they're known to be some type of paranormal creature, supposedly a demon. Not too sure, though. Pretty much, they portray children between the ages of 6 and 16, which makes adults kind of lower their guard when it comes to certain things. So that helps them get in and get attached. So a lot of, in the middle of the night, if you see a young 6-year-old kid outside saying, hey, I'm cold and freezing, let me in, but something's off about him, it's part of you is going to want to bring him in because you feel bad. That's just normal humanity. But on the other hand, don't do that. You got to go for the signs. You got to check out the signs and whatnot. They're known to have pale skin, jet black eyes. Not normal kids look like that. They are known to be have emotionless faces. They just show no nothing. I mean, if they're out there saying they're cold, it's like they're not even shivering. They're not looking like they're cold or worried. They're kind of just saying it, but it's part of that eeriness, which adds a whole off feeling when you're witnessing these things. You're like, what? Like something just doesn't seem right, and you always want to go with that gut instinct. They've been known to be seen hitchhiking on roads where children should not be in the middle of the night. They've also been known to just show up at your doorstep, ring the doorbell, knock on the door, asking to be let in. Don't ever let them in. Don't ever let them in. The minute you let one in, you're pretty much inviting evil into your home. And you don't want that. It's going to be very hard to get about. And usually anytime the evil is brought in, it ends very, very, very tragically, to the point where nobody usually walks out of it. And if you are walking out of it, good chance you're going to be accused of doing some pretty nasty stuff. So just don't let them in. So another question people want to know is, where do they come from? It's a very good question. We honestly have no idea. We just don't know where they come from. I mean, hell, we aren't even sure, you know, what they are. You know, we don't know if they're supernatural. We don't know if they're extraterrestrial. We have no idea. I mean, the way it is, can be demonic entity, can be aliens that have come here, you know, to conduct studies upon us. It could even be people from another dimension. I mean, like, we just really don't know where these creatures tend to come from. We just know that they're creepy as hell, and anytime they are around, it is never a good thing. There's never a good outcome to these black-eyed children ever showing up in your life, you know? We are unsure, you know, but we do know is not to trust them. You know, it's literally the one thing I can always say, just don't trust them. And you're going to know, you're going to get that feeling. Listen to your gut. Your gut is always right. Don't trust them. Don't let them into your home, your car, whatever the case may be. Just don't, you know? It's just, ugh. And honestly, I'll tell you what, kids, ghosts, they freak me the hell out, man, because a lot of demons tend to portray kids, and oof, they're just creepy. So another question people want to know is, are black-eyed children dangerous? And like I've been saying, yeah. I mean, we believe they are. That's just, some reports have had, you know, of people who've interacted with the black-eyed children. They pretty much have not ended up well, you know. They let them in their car, their home, wherever the case may be. It's always ended up in some type of tragedy. Always. There's very rarely been a case where somebody's come across the black-eyed children, actually interacted with them, and the outcome wasn't so bad. Like, no, it's usually always bad. Someone's always usually dying. It's just no good. They've been known to cause accidents, you know. So you get them into your car, driving down the road, like, oh my God, you know, what's your name? You're not really saying a name, you know, where are you from? What happened? They're not really saying. Just this weird feeling, you're noticing their eyes are black, shit's crazy, and then boom, they cause you to crash into something, or they make it so you can't control your car or something like that. And that's what they do. They'll cause those type of things. They go to your home, they'd probably try something way worse, you know, maybe try to murder you, and then it's going to make it seem like you're the one who actually did the murdering, or they're just going to murder you and people are going to find you murdered and no trace of anybody else. And maybe some security footage caught a kid, but nobody knows what the hell's going on or who that kid is, and the scenarios can be crazy. So, like I always say, just don't let them in. That's it. That's the easiest thing you can do. Don't let them in. Listen to your gut. Your gut's going to tell you, hey, this isn't right. Something's off. You listen to it. You don't let them in. Plain and simple. Shit, I mean, there have been eyewitness videos that have shown, you know, these children showing up at people's doorsteps, and then something had happened to the people in the house, and then no trace of the kid inside, though. No trace of a child ever being inside. And some of the style of the murders, it's like, how could a kid be strong enough to even do that? Especially if it's like a grown man, you know? It's weird, but it's been known to happen as part of the mystery. So somebody else wants to know, what do I do if I come across one of them? It's a very good question. Once again, like I say, try to avoid them. All costs, you know? Just, no matter what, don't let them in. That is like rule number one to this entire thing. Do not let them in. Because once you do, it's game over. You know, if you're driving at night, you see some kid or kids, you know, flagging you down, definitely slow down. I'm not saying just drive by them, because it really could be some kids that need help. But, you know, slow it down. Really take a look. See what their features are. Do they have pale skin? Do they have the dark eyes? You know, what? If they do, I don't recommend pulling over. I recommend keep just frickin' driving. Don't even stop, you know. But if they look normal, like normal kids, then yeah, definitely pull over and help them out. You know, same thing if they show up at your doorstep. I mean, their main thing is they'll show up at weird times. So it'd be like anywhere between like 11 and 6 a.m. Like, that's kind of the time range. So 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's where all the stories have actually said that they've been seen in that time frame. So I figure that's kind of when they want to show up. So now if you really think about it, how many kids are really going to be out at that time of night? if there was something bad, I'm sure they would have gone somewhere else. And you got to think about, all right, if you're in the neighborhood and if that kid now had to pass by 20, 10, whatever, 5, 4, 3 different houses before you got to your house, odds of you being the only person to have opened your door for said child, slim to none. I'm pretty sure that somebody else would have opened the door to try to assist. So you got to take that into consideration. Like, okay, that's weird. Time of night, everything else. And then also you got to think about, too, it's 2021. Kids got cell phone, cars got OnStar. There's so much stuff. There is no explanation on why you should be able to let one of these kids in. And if there was something tragic, they would be a complete mess. And I mean, these kids aren't. They'll sit there with a calm calm face and everything, to be like, oh, our parents got into an accident. We need your help. Please let us in. And it's cold out here. Please let us in. We'll freeze. And blah. You're like, no, that's not how a normal person, even kid, would act. Especially if it was something crazy that happened. They're gonna be freaking out. They're gonna be really panicking. You're gonna be able to know, like, oh my God, this is somebody who definitely needs my help, and you're gonna be able to help them out. But if none of those signs are shown or even visible, don't let them in. Don't. Just ignore them. And don't get me wrong, that's going to cause a lot. They're going to get angry. They're going to start pounding louder, yelling. They're going to start threatening, saying things. If you don't let them in, you're going to die. This and that's going to happen to you. Whatever. Just don't ever listen to them. Don't cave. Don't ever let them in. That's the worst thing you could ever do. That's it. Just don't interact. If you can tell the difference between them, you're fine. Just don't interact if they come off as black-eyed children. Trust me, you're not going to want that. It's going to end up really bad. So, the next one is a very, very interesting topic to me. I've heard tons of stories about them, and honestly, this is probably up there with the black-eyed children. Another one that just freaks me out, just the concept, and then the stories that I've heard on different podcasts and things like that of people's experiences with doppelgangers and how evil and just fearing they are. Like, oh my God, it's the creepiest thing ever. It is so scary. If anybody does get a chance to dig into this, definitely do. And I mean, listen to a lot of the stories out there with the experiences with them. It's, oh my God, it'll definitely make you lose some sleep. It'll keep you up at night thinking that. But so for those of you who don't know, a lot of people want to know, what is a doppelganger? So pretty much a doppelganger is a double or an apparition of a living person. So it's not a dead person, it's somebody who's living, which makes it even more freakier. So they picture kind of like an evil twin. You know what I mean? That's pretty basically what a doppelganger is. It's like a copy of you, but one that wasn't really done right. You know what I'm saying? It's like a clone, but it kind of, certain parts were missed. You know what I mean? So it kind of comes off weird. So a lot of people want to know, are they dangerous? Is it true? Because there's been reports of people who have met their alleged doppelgangers, even though there's a difference between people who just kind of look like you and then legit a doppelganger. Is two totally different things. And I believe what a lot of people think when they met their alleged doppelganger, and it was nice, it was a great experience. I believe that no, they didn't meet a doppelganger. They just met somebody who definitely looks, like them, which it's been a possible thing to happen. I've seen people who look like me, growing up. I've definitely seen that. So, but according to many lores, studies and cultures, traditionally they have been viewed as sinister, very evil entities. Seeing your doppelganger has also been considered a omen of misfortune. It's been very bad to see your doppelganger. If you do see your doppelganger and you start interacting with it, or you it knows that you've seen it. It starts inching closer and closer and closer and closer because its main thing is to pretty much become you, to kill you, and to take over your body and become you, live out your life. You know, that's what their whole thing is about. So most often in today's time, like I said, doppelganger interactions have become more frequent, and I don't think that's really what they are. I don't think that they are legit doppelgangers. I think that they're, you know, the good ones at least. I think they're just people who look like them, but definitely not a doppelganger at all. So, sorry about that, guys. Forgot that does the thing. It's been a long time since I've had a VCR, so it's actually pretty cool. I like tying it in with everything. But yeah, man. So they've been known to just be horrible, really bad things. So like I said, I don't think people seeing their doppelgangers and it's a good thing we see their pictures of them and all that stuff. No, but the twist about that is, what if they're just posing to be nice and to like you, just to get closer to you? You know, new day and age, new type of ball game on trying to get closer to people. You know, back in the day it was a little easier because, I don't know, people's minds were just a little bit different, and I guess people weren't as distracted, so it was a lot easier to become noticeable. Today people are so distracted, man, you have to literally like reach out to grab at them. So that could be definitely something that, you know, people are going through. Because any story, man, of a real doppelganger, it's never been happy. It's never been fun. It's been horrible and sometimes tragic. You know, every time you think the movie Us, all right, the Jordan Peele movie, perfect description of what a doppelganger kind of is set out to do, what their purpose of it is. In this one, it didn't kill the little girl, you know, it just kind of switched places with her, had her held captive, but for the most part, dude, they're supposed to just kill you. And that movie depicted it perfect. I love that's one of my favorite movies. He's actually really good with a lot of things that he does with his movies. So another question people want to know is, how do I know if someone I'm talking to is a doppelganger? So that's a good question. So like I said, because they're going to look like somebody. So not necessarily you seeing yours, but say like, you know, you're at a buddy's, you know, and you see someone who looks just like your buddy. You gotta talk to them because it looked just like them, sounded kind of like them, but something's off or a little different. Maybe the way they walked, you know, was a little more choppy. You know what I mean? Maybe their speech is kind of mumbled, or it's just hard. It just doesn't seem right. You know, it's like I said, it's almost like a copy, but something skipped, like in the middle. Like there's a little glitch or something like that. It's pretty much think of it like it's a knockoff version of something. You know, it's if you go to get the knockoff brand of a cereal or a shoe, or you know how it kind of looks like it, almost identical, but there's just something kind of off about it. Same thing with the doppelgangers. That's how you're gonna know. You're gonna know who your people are. Like I'm gonna know who my friend is. I'm gonna know if they're acting weird. You know, I'm gonna know. You know, if it's my wife or something like that. You're gonna know if something's just off with that person. So the minute that starts to come into play, just understand you could possibly be talking to a doppelganger. That's when you want to do a little more digging, but also be very cautious with what you're doing. So another person wants to know, what is doppelganger's main purpose? And like I said, it's to kill you. Flat out, plain and simple, that is what their purpose is. They just want to come over and kind of now take over your life, and it might mean they just want to continue on doing what you're doing and just, I mean, maybe they want to do better than that, or maybe they literally just want to wreak havoc and just kill and murder. You know, we don't know. They're evil. So that could just be what they want to do. So, like I said, that's kind of what their whole purpose is. There's certain celebrities that are actually, people think that they're actually doppelgangers. Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, Eminem. People think that the real them died years ago and they've been replaced with these clones or doppelgangers, these lookalikes that act like them, but they're kind of really not them. People have done a lot of digging into that and have tried to pull off, similarities but things that are different that, should have been clearly noted as that's kind of part of their personality and who they, are and who they look like. But hey, we don't know, And the last question people want to know is, what is the best way to get rid of your doppelganger? So, if you do have a doppelganger, and this is going to sound really crazy, but to be honest, you got to kill him. Once you're 100% sure, you are dealing with a doppelganger, and trust me, you're gonna know, especially if it's you who's dealing with it, because you're you. So if you're looking at somebody else who's you, it clearly there's somebody else, but you need to kill it. That's it, plain and simple, because it will try to kill you. It will not stop until it does. So you definitely need to get to it before it has a chance to even get to you. That is the best thing you can do. They try to trick it into, letting its guard down. But you gotta remember, it's gonna be you, so it's gonna know you. It's gonna think like you. You're gonna have to pull some type of craziness that you wouldn't normally pull, but it's gonna throw it off, and that's gonna let it bring its guard down and allow you to go in and kill it. And the best thing about it is you don't need any type of special weapon, no type of blasted object or some ancient thing. Like literally anything will do it, a gun, knife, whatever, but you need to take it out before it gets you, plain and simple. That is the only way to survive that thing. Other than that, yeah, but remember, guys, when it comes to doppelgangers, take it out before it has a chance to get you. So that's what I have on that topic for this week. So folks, I hope you enjoyed another episode of Answers to the Unknown. Until next time, stay spooky, guys.